Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
Let's do a 2's tier list. I haven't made one of these in like several patches. Like all my old tier lists were a bit outdated, but right now we're gonna go crazy with it. I think the easiest way to start a tier list is by starting from the top. So I'm gonna do the #1 character in 2's, which if you've watched me stream at any point, you know who I think it is. It's this motherfucker right here. He cheats. He cheats.
Cheater! Cheater!
Stripe does 12 damage off of a Sair, which still has barely any lag. The move is huge. He can cover the entire stage with it with full aerial drift, or if he guesses your option a single time, he can kill you at any percent. Even if he doesn't kill you, he does more damage than anyone else in the game off of a single interaction, without even really needing to combo you. I really don't like the state that Stripe is in right now. The Saw Blade is one of the biggest utilities in the game. The space it takes up is like really, really good. And I don't know, he just has too much good stuff. I hate that he's so good with what his kit is. He should be able to checkmate you off of a single hit. But right now he's obscenely broken and incredibly simple to play. I think the current second best doubles character right now is Velma. This is actually, I think this is the first tier list I've had where I don't have Velma as #1. I know people are spamming Morty. I don't think Morty's #2. I think it's Velma. So hear me out, right? Everyone knows what's strong about her. It's been talked about to death. Laser is obviously incredibly strong. The stage control of bubbles, her up air and up tilt are unbeatable moves. Her Sair is disjointed. Her Dare is the biggest. Velma's got a lot of good going for her. She's still so good, and when she runs away from you, she's really, really hard to catch, especially if she's just throwing out her lagless big moves. And I also think, as a character, Velma's a bit underexplored in some way. Like, if people like did everything she could and just like really hard camped people relentlessly, she just gets so much reward for not engaging. I cannot warrant putting her any lower than this. And then I'll put this guy up here. Fine. I know people were talking about him as #2, but I think Morty's #3. I think he's marginally worse than Velma. Marginally. Morty's forward air and his dare absolutely cheat. Those moves are insane and should not do what they do, especially combined with how good his zoning is. Morty grenades. He sets them up, he can split them, he can make them huge with the explosion perk. He has the option to shoot them at any time to make them explode and have a active projectile shot that will also hit you. Morty's just good. The biggest individual thing that helps him in 2's, that really puts him at the top of this list, is whenever Morty hits someone, he puts them in more hit lag than anyone else in the game. When you get hit by a Morty move, you are like frozen in place for like a solid second. Because of this, every time Morty hits you, his teammate can jump across the entire stage and basically auto combo you with a move of their choice, just because you get stuck there for so long. Oh my god, it's just so good. It's just so good. I don't know who I want 4th and 5th here. I did it before. Yeah, I do. It's Jake. Jake cheats. Oh my god, Jake cheats. House is like one of Jake's most problematic moves. They nerfed the startup of it by 4 frames, up from like the 2 it had before. That doesn't change the fact that the move is still uncontestable, still has too much air drift, still reflects projectiles, still is uncontestable with 99% of aerials in the game. House is still like one of the most broken things in the game, and it's not been touched nearly enough. That move needs to have something done with it. It's like, oh, it's so frustrating to fight against. Jake's up B, up air cheese is way too good and consistent. Up air, true combo, up B and up air link into each other to kill people off the top. If you get caught at like a decently high height, you'll just die to Jake up B starting at like 70. If you get up B anywhere near the blast zone, you'll die at any percent. It's just too much. I'm done with Jake for now. Character's obviously obscene. Ramsa says Arya is now not next. I'm sorry, Ramsa. She's definitely next. Dodge forward tilt, best option in the goddamn game. Nothing comes close. I don't know why her forward tilt is so fast or why it true combos into a knife or an up B confirmed. Oh my god, that's incredible. Landing Nair, true combos into forward tilt, which combos into the other stuff. She has no whiff lag across the board. Her startup is insane. Her dare is extremely disjointed and she has full aerial drift. The fact that she's light does mean she randomly dies early. That is a notable downside, but still, all of her upsides are so good that she has to be in this tier with the rest of them. Up next, Bam. These are what I would consider, I think, the cheater characters. Wonder Woman in particular just feels frustrating to even try to win neutral against. Her neutral is so oppressive, and that's her thing, right? Her up B is a near instantaneous move, so at any time when Wonder Woman has any dodge meter, she can just roll inside of you and up B. The down special cooldown where you give her and her teammate armor every once in a while, it's insanely good. Armor is just so good. Very few characters in this game have access to consistent good armor break. I thought Wonder Woman's original design of like, she's a tank because she provides a lot of survivability and armor armor. Okay, I was like, okay, that's cool. But then they just made her heavy. You can't kill her. Why is she one of the heaviest characters in the game? Wonder Woman never fucking dies. And on top of how much damage and how much she chases you, you're just never gonna like outvalue her in trades unless you're one of these other characters in the S tier. I think like these 6 characters right now are more overtuned than anyone else in the doubles format. I think that's gonna be it for my my S tier. First character we got in A+ tier is going to be, it's Raindog. Okay, I am sick and tired of Raindog downplaying, especially in doubles. I am sick and tired of Raindog downplaying. Holy shit, this character is broken beyond belief. Not quite as broken as the S tiers, mind you, but he is broken. All right, Raindog does 400 damage a game, doesn't really struggle to kill, and the only really thing he has is like his disadvantage is probably one of the worst disadvantages in the game. I'll go into why I don't have him in the S tier first. That is because I think Raindog has a couple of bad matchups, right? In particular, I think Velma, Jake, and Steven counter Raindog pretty darn hard. But I think those 3 in particular are like the reason why I don't have him in the S tier. I think those 3 specific characters happen to check Raindog pretty hard, and I think those 3 characters are the reason I don't have him in S. But beyond those 3 characters, everyone knows. I think this is where Raindog is right now in dubs, and I think the only reason he's not up here is because he has a couple of bad matchups. I am sick and tired of people calling this character bad. This guy is not bad. This man right here, he is good. He is very good, actually, in both formats, not just singles. I'm not going to act like he's not good in doubles. If Finn decides to slow the game down and just start charging up smash, you're forced to play around that. If he decides to start spamming gem throws at you, you're forced to play around that. If he decides to start jumping over you and spamming dare, you are forced to play around that. Finn can realistically two-touch most of the cast, but a lot of the Finns just kind of don't. And I don't know if it's like the combos are just hard to do in doubles, or it's just like they just don't know how to do it. I'm not sure. I think Finn could be an S tier character, but right now, with how he's played, I think I'll just have him right here. Bugs time, we're getting there. We're getting there, Ryoko. I'm gonna have one more character before Bugs. That's Batman. Light character, dies early. That's it. That's his one weakness, right? He is so fun. I love playing Batman, but he really feels like you're cheating a little bit. He flings himself across the screen at Mach 30 with some of the fastest moves in the game, including a charge Sair, which has almost no end lag and combos into a lot of his options. He does get comboed really hard. Like, he gets comboed really hard, but that's like a decision-making thing, right? If he chooses his spots well, he just wins, and I think that's a good spot for him. And now I'm gonna actually rank this guy. I love Bugs. He's my boy. I love Bugs Bunny. Bugs Tunnel, obviously one of the best utility moves in the game. Rocket up air kills really early. He is good. He is still very good. I'm glad he doesn't have the infinite loop anymore. It was really unfun to fight and unfun to do, so I'm glad that's gone. There's not too much else to say about him, right? Like, the biggest weakness with Bugs is he actually has a little bit of startup on some of his moves, but all of that being said, he's good. I'm doing LeBron. Okay, I'll have LeBron as the highest in this tier. Decent poking normals. A lot of his ball list normals have really high priority. The ball is bouncing around the stage. Slam dunk, cancelable move that kills at like 50, can be armored, hits a hitbox the size of the moon. Like, if you hit someone with a ball-less up air, it true combos into a ball throw, which true combos into an up air. You just kill them at really early percent. Anyway, he's still very good. For now, I'll stop leaving this guy alone. I think Rick is good. But here's the problem, right? No one is out there proving it. No one's really playing him, especially in doubles. I want someone to show off what this character's got. No Ricks are really showing off the crazy zero to death portal shenanigans he has, and until I see people able to do that consistently, I think this is where I want to have him. Next up, it feels like Garnet just doesn't just auto lose to everyone now. I think if she didn't have the landing nair as an option, she'd be in a really bad spot. But because of that nair, she has like an actual like mix-up option on people trying to approach her. And I think she's like a bit linear than a lot of characters, but she's good now. You know, I did this kind of as a bait, where I set up this A- tier, but joke's on you, Taz is also an A tier. I think doubles only has 3 tiers worth of characters right now, and I think they're all good. I think doubles in Multiversus right now is actually incredibly balanced outside of the S tier. Every character in this game is good. And I'm glad I can say that. I really am glad I can say that. Here's the thing about Taz, right? If you team Taz with another character in this A tier, he tends to not do that great. But if you pair Taz with like a top tier, he goes kind of crazy. The thing about Taz, right, is he gets outzoned, but whenever he does get in, he just kills you. And he just kills you really good. His Cloud and just like all of his specials are just like insane moves. Then last but not least, we got this fella right here. I'm putting him right below Black Adam. I hate to do this to him. I really do. The more I've played him, the more I just think, wow, he is not as strong as you'd think he'd be. He's good still. He's good still, just like every other character in this game. But Marvin gets frustrating. I can say this as someone who's been playing him really actively. He just struggles, dude, against some characters. Like, he really just has some bad matchups. Realistically, I think he just gets outperformed by other characters. He is still insanely good, especially with the kill power of Rocket. That shit puts so much fear in people's hearts. All right, and this, I think, finishes up my doubles list. I think this is, some characters are low, such as Rick, Tom, and Gizmo, who I think could be significantly better than this. They just have to be pushed. But other than that, this is good.